The devil all the time. Let's talk about it. The Devil All the Time is directed by Antonio Campos and stars Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, and Bill Skarsgård, among a host of other great performances that I'll get into later. The movie's pretty good, all things considered. Antonio Campos is able to create and sustain an eerie feeling throughout the film. It's not my favorite type of movie because, honestly, I don't like the way it makes me feel. It's intense and pretty depressing. The movie follows Arvin, who's played by Michael Banks Rapita, through his shitty upbringing where terrible things happen to the people he loves and himself. And then the movie kind of skips forward to his older self, Tom Holland, where still plenty of terrible things keep happening. It's inescapable to him. Trouble seems to just follow him in this small town that he lives in. Now, one of the best parts of the movie is its side plots, because while Arvin's story is interesting, the other plots are way crazier. There's a preacher who thinks he's been given the power to resurrect people, Harry Melling, a serial killing couple played by Riley Keough and Jason Clarke, a total sleazebag preacher, that's Robert Pattinson, a dirty town sheriff, Sebastian Stan, Arvin's dad, Bill Skarsgård, is awesome. He has a cool story. The movie is filled with these side quests like a video game, and all the stories just take intense and insane turns, and eventually they kind of all intermingle into each other. Now, this is cool, and it is the reason to watch the movie, but it's also the reason why the movie struggles. You feel like you're in so many places at once that you can hardly keep up. I feel pretty strongly that these characters could have been held together a little better in a Netflix miniseries or, multi-season series, honestly. But that's also probably due to the acting, because the actors were phenomenal. I mean, most everyone kills it. My favorite performance is probably Bill Skarsgård as Arvin's dad. I'll buy some stock in him right now. He is this really stoic, old-fashioned, post-war father and husband who just loves his wife more than anything in the world. It's a pretty empathetic character. But all the characters are nuts in one way or another, and I bought into just about all of them. So the hype around the movie is mostly, what can Tom Holland do besides Spider-Man? And I liked him in this. I'm not freaking out about him or anything. At the very least, he proves he has the ability to stand in something else. But he by no means anchors the film. He's a very nice face, and you root for him. That's kind of why he is the way he is. But there's so many other performances in the film that he kind of gets lost. The secondary hype around the film is probably the Pattinson party. The hound dog that just will not quit. Rob Pat has decided to take this year by the balls and make it his own. He's an unstoppable force. Put him in any movie and he's going to slay it. His character's a lot more interesting than Holland's. And honestly, he fills the room every scene that he's in. He has this ridiculous accent that takes a little bit of time to get into, but once you accept it, I kind of loved it. We do get this awesome 1v1 scene with Holland and Pattinson, and, those are the moments we watch the movie for. The negatives of the movie are mostly in its storytelling. I love the characters and the actors, but Campos tells the story in an incredibly dragging way. The movie is slow and long, and I still feel like there was room for a story on the table with its characters. It's not a problem that's easy to solve because he wants to create this crawling mood that is the mountains of West Virginia. I mean, a fast-paced movie wouldn't really fit it, but if that's the case, then I think the story needed to be cut or trimmed. I could have done without the sheriff storyline, honestly. The movie's just crammed with too much, and somehow it still feels incredibly slow. It's really my only nitpick, and I hated the voiceover narration. He shows up and explains stuff that you really just didn't need to hear. I mean, he gets more lines than probably any actor in the film. I'm just not a fan of voiceover in general. So, it's tough. You got to be smooth with voiceover. It's got to really tell you interesting or necessary stuff. They didn't do that in this film. I'm going to give The Devil All the Time a 7.5. It's worth a watch for the characters and for the acting, but it's a pretty depressing ride, and I think it'll be a while before I want to head back to Knock'em Stiff, West Virginia.